I've been getting a lot of questions on how to meal prep on a budget, how do you do it, how do you eat all this food in a week. So today I'm going to show you how to meal prep like a bodybuilding pro, and hopefully allow you guys to use some tips and maybe give me some feedback in the comments about how you do your own meal prep so I can streamline mine even more. You notice today the camera quality being a little different. It's going to kind of follow me around. I set up the iPad. I know it's in like 720p or something like that on the front camera. I will spin it around in a minute to show the chicken and all that. It's going to follow my face right now, so hopefully it'll be a better quality, more crisp when you see the actual preparation. But one of the first things you need to do is get your protein sources. Obviously that's your number one. There's your building blocks. That's going to be the majority of your cost. But if you think you go eat fast food, what is it? 10, 15 bucks a meal. Whereas you can get about half a week for about 10 bucks if you're buying chicken and ground beef. So first things first, here's the same. I'm actually not cooking this today because I want to save it for later in the week and more fresh, but that's between 8 to 10 bucks. Take that. You got your ground beef here. This is 96.4. This is like the leanest cut that I can find. And that's 16 bucks for this container, so roughly 15, 16 bucks. So there you're at about 25 bucks or so. Actually, stop mentioning it. He's like the other two breasts. I've already prepared like 2 breasts just to save time here. But chicken, I don't know if you can see that, 12 bucks. For this big tray of 8 breasts. So I prefer going to Lidl. They seem to have more plump breasts that aren't just full of salmon like some of the other grocery stores. It's up to you, personal preference, find what you got in the town you're in. And we got those 3. Then also what I like to do for veggies, get a big bag of mixed vegetables. I just pour them in a container here, defrost them the night before. This is all I love today. That way you're eating like a cup of veggies a meal. There's no reason why you can't fit them into your diet. Even if you're bulking, just a cup of veggies a day, it's like 10 grams of carbs total. It's not going to ruin you. You're not going to become a vegan or anything like that. Just go ahead, dump them in what you're making. Your chicken, your broccoli, rice, whatever. Just add it. It's easy enough. There's a ton of health benefits, especially if you're on PEDs. So, the other consideration, I do like making sweet potato fries when I'm cutting, which I am right now. And typically these are like $3 for the already washed tray because I'm lazy. I pour in there, but this way I usually find a shape that fits in my frying cutter. That's the one issue I do have with them, is some of them are too fat like individually, but in these containers they always fit in my frying cutter, so I'm okay paying the extra $1 or whatever just to get them so they fit in there and not deal with a headache. The consideration with the sweet potatoes versus normal potatoes is these are harder, so you can't just put them into fry cutter right away. I've learned that the hard way. It gets stuck in there and you can't get it out. So what I do with these is, see if this comes up with me all the way. So they pop almost boiling right here, just to soak them while I prepare everything else. So for about 30 minutes I have them in the pot over here. They soften up. Once I put everything in the air fryer, I'll chop those up, get them ready. Then as soon as the chicken's out, I can swap them in, put them in for 40 minutes. So there's the carb source. You got the rice maker over here. I'm moving everything on my counter over here too. But got the rice maker on the table. You might not be able to see it. Make 3 to 5 cups of rice right away. Depends on if you're bulking or cutting how much you're eating, obviously. But there you have it. That's about 60 bucks a week or so, which is a lot cheaper than you'd be paying if you're eating fast food or eating like crap. And that's 5-6 meals a day. You go out to McDonald's or you go to Chick-fil-A, it's 10 bucks, no matter what you order now. If you order that 1 meal a day is more expensive there than if you order 5 or 6 a meal of your own cooked stuff. So the number one way I prepare them though, hey, gotta stop looking at the is I have 2 air fryers. So I've tried crock pot, I've tried the Instant Pot, I've tried the oven. Sometimes the chicken comes out moist, it's not just dry, it takes forever. So I want something quick and easy. It takes me 20 minutes to do it. So I got a double-decker air fryer over here with a Ninja. And then I have another standard one over there, so I can do up to 7, maybe 8 if I'm really pushing it. Chicken breast all at once, knock them all out. The Ninja needs 25 minutes to get it perfect. Here. It's just a double decker, so it needs to cook 2 channels once. The other one's done in 20 minutes. So you think with your prep time, 2 rounds of the chicken, because I usually have 16 breasts, that takes you less than an hour overall. So there's no excuse for, hey, I can't prepare my own food, it takes too long, it costs too much. In reality, it's just putting the effort in. And if you're making crap at home, I mean, you still go to the store and buy it anyway, bring it in. It's not taking you that much longer at the end of the day. And the way that I usually set it up to save even more time is the double air fryer approach, which actually my coworker's giving me another one Monday because she didn't want it. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to set it up and not pop the breaker here. But if I can get them all going, it's gonna speed it up and make it like 1 round instead. So while I'm doing all that, I also put the ground beef on the stovetop. So the ground beef, essentially after we get chickens cooking all at once, I can go do something else or prepare the sweet potatoes all at once, which I don't eat them when I'm bulking because I don't fully digest. When you're eating all those carbs, I find that they come out in chunks, they don't fully digest. So I like using them when I'm cutting where I don't have as much food volume because that kind of adds more food volume and makes you feel more full versus the rice. So I highly recommend that if you're having trouble with satiety and overeating. So we got 2 rounds there, and then if I make the fries, that adds a little more time, but you put them in there 40 minutes and I just come and shake it for 15 or so. They're easy, you don't even have to think about them. I'll go do something else and just pop out occasionally and check on them. Here's the, I can fit usually 4 on my cutting board here. If you get a bigger cutting board, you can knock them all out at once. You know, that might be an investment in the future. I'll put big thing of the ground beef all here at once. It usually takes me 2 rounds to cook that, but it goes with the chicken. It takes less than 20 minutes to do all this while that's all going at once. So, I'll put that over there. You see me hurling something down here, it's because Axel likes to lay down, and he's an 80-pound husky, so he takes up all the space right here. So that's my high stepper. But as for seasoning, if you're in a contest prep, you probably shouldn't be using seasoning. I'm on a cut. My coach didn't say I can't use it, so for right now I am using it. But they kind of are a little deceptive. Say like this one, you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'll say 0 calories per 1/4 of a teaspoon. So it's their clever way of putting the serving size down so low that it doesn't register over the 5 or 10 calories that they have to label. So there are a couple calories in here. I'd be a little careful. So a 1/4 teaspoon, there's probably calories in there. They're just trying to get around it. But first step to getting the chicken to cook evenly is you need to beat your meat. So you want them to be roughly even so they cook evenly. Because what can happen is you have these thicker parts, like right here on this breast. It's thicker up here than it is down there. That won't cook all the way through, so then you end up with this pink, salmonella infested chicken that you don't want. So we just take it. You don't have to go crazy, you don't have to beat them into pieces or anything like that. But once you've done that, make sure to cut some holes in it here. Once the heat get in there and the flavors sink in a little more. And then the seasoning. If you're, really watching the calories, I'd measure this out. Right now, for the sake of this, I'm just gonna go lightly over each breast. Let's go. Rub it in. You guys over. And once again, lightly go on the other side. Rub that all in, spread it around. Make sure it's fairly even. So Another word of advice too: don't do any of the liquid seasonings. A lot of times they have extra fat, a lot of extra fat or a lot of extra sugar in them, and preservatives and shit. If your goal is to look better, you want to keep it a little more plain. But believe me, with the air fryer, this doesn't taste dry anyway. Like the outside, it actually cooks it in and it kind of sears it in. I almost like to leave a couple of cookings on there, so I don't clean this after every time because it almost bakes in the flavor from previous rounds. So every week or two I'll wash it, but I try to let it build up a little bit. When it starts getting really caked in there, I'm gonna degrease it and knock it out. So here and here, 2 breasts fit for this one. Just repeat the other side. Boom. Set. Air fry, match it. I already have the chicken. It's as easy as that. Just wait 25 minutes. Usually I flip it halfway through on each one, so somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes here and 10 minutes there. Just flip it over so it cooks evenly, and then you have a bunch of chicken breast made. I went ahead and trimmed the ends off of these and cut each potato in half to save time, but all you're gonna do is just take it here into the fry cutter, pull it right through, and it goes in nice and easy now that it's moist and warm. Don't try doing sweet potatoes unless they're moist. Regular potatoes, you can get away with it. I still recommend soaking them a little bit, but this allows them to come right through it nice and easy. You can break them up a little bit and load it directly in the air fryer, and all I do to season them is just salt them. That's it. That's the easiest way to do them and the way to keep it least calorie dense. Started, and I've already got 2 big sources of protein done. You can see the chicken is bleeding under here. It's still got the juices intact. I cut one open a little bit just to check, but the rest of them I leave the juices in them best I can because I'm going to go cook them. They stay juicy when I go reheat them. So my plan is putting them in big containers like this, and I just measure out per meal because sometimes my macros change around and I don't want to sit here for another hour measuring. I just do it for 10 minutes in the morning before work. That works for me. If you want to do them all at once, you can get a bunch of small containers and try to play Django with your fucking fridge. Go ahead. That's your prerogative. But what I'll probably do is show you guys the fries when they're ready, just how they look. And then besides that, I'm going to do another round of chicken later today sometime. But you can do all this in less than 2 hours, and that's assuming if you're a 200-pound bodybuilder. If you're someone trying to lose weight or you're like a bikini athlete, this is going to take you less than an hour. So there's really no excuse to be eating like crap and complaining that it's too hard to meal prep, blah, blah, blah. It takes you less time than it does to watch a Netflix special. Fries are also done. They turned out pretty well. I like them a little more moist. Some people like them crispy. Just watch cook times and decide what you like. But just to wrap it up, that's a week meal prep right there. So if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below, especially if you have any tips to help me speed my process up too.